Here we go. Hold your ears, folks. It's showtime.
You're listening to Comics Podcasting on the edge of civility.
You're listening to The Mean Geek, episode 159.
Are you serious with this fucking flick, dude? This is just...
But you don't like the freaking Civil War stripes on his arm there?
I'm serious. This is getting stupider by the second. It wasn't bad enough that they had to have 16 beautiful girls competing to be navigators to the death. Remember that these are all convicted murderers. Do not try at home. Get the fuck out of here with
You have that tone very nicely, though. Hey, we can go back.
I'm good at that stuff.
We can go back to zombie-ass toilet of
We
the
are
dead.
not going back to zombie-ass toilet of the dead. We're not doing that.
Once the tapeworm shot out of that girl's ass, I'm out.
That was enough.
That was...
Yeah.
I apologize. I believe that, the movies I find torment you to a degree that I find acceptable, that movie's like, nope, fuck it, out, quit, done.
Yeah, I was finished with that as soon as that happened. I mean, she was all, hot and stuff, but no. Giant tapeworms coming out of... No, fuck it. Japanese people are wrong.
Nothing on earth takes hot away faster than tapeworm hanging out of your ass.
No. But then you give me
something my
Deathrace.
father told me on his knee when I was 5 years old. I never thought it would come up. I'm like, dude, that's the weirdest advice you've ever given me, father.
Son, I just want you to know, and this may come in handy at some point, nothing takes away hot faster than a giant spiked tapeworm coming out the ass. Thanks, Pop. I'll pass that on to my boy someday.
And now I will. Because he was right. I'm like, shit, that was actually helpful advice.
Unlike most of the advice my pop gave me. It's just like, just go to work already. Would you shit? No, my pop wasn't like that.
No,
my
not
pop
at
is
all.
not a Marvel father.
Alright, so what week is it?
It is Indie Week, and we've got a huge pile because we did a little experimenting and a little catching up during that experimenting, so the pile was a bit big. Didn't do anything particularly nerdy this week. Did some Christmas shopping. Did some writing for Super Macho Jedi Knight, but that's not out yet, so don't quote me on the quality of anything I've written so far. I did some shooting for it, so there's going to be some neat strips coming out.
On our Facebook, I believe there's some prelim shots.
There is, in fact. If you visit facebook.com/TheMeanGeek, you'll see a couple of things. Also, I threw them out on Twitter as well, so plenty of neat shit to see preview style up in this motherfucker. Didn't play any games.
No?
Was too busy working.
We went to Sarge's.
We did go to Sarge's. Caught up on a couple of things that, just catching up on, missing stuff. Nothing we really need to talk about.
Well, the being is, I have no idea what you bought.
Yeah,
particularly.
Well, I didn't particularly care about what I bought either, it turns out. So, it's all insanity.
There you go.
Yeah, no big news either, I don't think. Was there?
I have not seen much in the way of news.
No, then there's none. So,
Yep.
if
Nothing
you don't know
I've
it
seen.
and I don't know it, it didn't happen. Oh, there was one thing.
You
I
lying
just
weasel.
found this. It happens all the time. Just found this out yesterday. I'm kind of irritated, but I kind of see what they're doing, and I'm kind of happy because I don't plan to work on it to deal with its replacement. But they canceled The Dark Knight.
Really?
Yep, March is the last issue.
What
So-
are they replacing it with?
They're replacing it with Batman Eternal. Or, as I like to call it, Batman, go fuck yourself.
What the fuck does Batman Eternal mean?
Well, if you remember, this is the one where, quote, Batman just gets into the most epic stuff possible, unquote. Because Batman's never been epic and shit. Yeah,
Awesome.
destroying an entire city. That's not fucking epic or nothing. It's the crazy shit. It's the crazy superpowered horse shit.
Oh, good.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's got to be. Nobody calls gangsters epic for fuck's
Now, are
sake.
you getting the first one?
Of course I'm going to
You are
What the hell kind of question
you
is
are
that?
such a crack whore for that
It's
shit. Batman #1, don't mind if I do. Wow, it sounds horrible. I'll take 3.
I might. I've got a CGC account now. I just got to pick the right cover, or it's worthless. No, nothing else interesting at all.
Wow. Batman
No, nothing.
Eternal.
No, I'm not interested in Batman Eternal at all. This is just one more excuse to drop one more book to me.
Alright, so it's Indie Week, which means we have an insane amount of shit. Why do you do this?
You asked for some of this stuff, yo.
Yeah, and I'll apologize when we get to it, because yet another fucking Rev Week. I'll try it. No, god damn it, no.
Well, we got number 3, even though we missed 2, but I picked up 2, so it's okay.
Okay.
Not a whole hell of a lot happened in 2, so
Not a whole hell of a lot happens in any of these.
Well, but there was nothing to miss. In this.
Fair enough.
So, in 3 of Extinction Parade, we're introduced to the tale of the hot but stupid and dependent vampires and their generations of valets.
Which is a very common concept. This is, the whole Renfield idea.
Yeah.
They played with that in American Vampire, Lord of the Vampires. You had
Sure.
the Renfields.
Absolutely, but they didn't run it to this extent. Like, where's our cash, dude?
Yeah, fine.
These 2 were fucking stupid, man.
What? Here's the thing. Like, I have not read 2. 1 and 3 of this book I have read.
Each one stands alone, really.
The high points is that Max Brooks, just like in World War Z, has some very creative ideas of things. He looks at things from a slightly different angle,
Right?
so that's cool. On the downside, I don't care about anyone in this book one iota,
Not yet.
and the zombies have not really made an appearance except for 4 seconds in the first book, and now all the Renfields world vampire wide are quitting.
Which I found humorous, because they're, what are these idiots going to do? It should be fun to see them, trundle around and stumble and thinking they can just attack anybody because the zombies are around and not bother thinking about food of the future.
Now, there's definitely some unique ideas in this, but I'm not loving it at this point.
Not just yet. But it gets its 6, just like everything else.
Except for the ones that don't.
Well, yeah. I mean, if they're so fucking, it's just obvious. It's so clear sometimes when you should just not bother with a book. Not so with Afterlife with Archie, number
Now,
1.
this is the one I get to pat myself on the back
Wow-wee.
for. And you kept going with it.
Yes, absolutely.
I had to sell you on the artist to get you to buy this. Got myself the first.
Not really.
We had a quick debate. Once I pointed out it was Franco Villa. Franco Villa, as I was saying the other day to you, is as close as there is to an artist that you'll buy, as an automatic buy for an artist.
He's
for you.
suddenly become a deciding factor, which is very unusual for me.
Yeah, art has never... I mean, Frank Miller, but when he was writing and drawing.
Yes.
But art has never really driven... Whereas I have several artists I'll buy, and we know Dan the Man had a lot of artists that he
Yeah, that was essentially it, really.
But
this is pretty cool. It's unironic. It's seemingly... Well, it's obviously out of continuity.
Yes, yeah, no,
such as
seemingly,
Archie has.
this
is a whole new parallel Archie universe where things like this happen.
Hot Dog,
Jughead's dog, gets hit by a car. He dies. Jughead, in his grief, takes him to Sabrina, the teenage witch. And she's like, well, no, I can't do that. And her aunts are just like, of course you can't do that. What are you talking about? Get away from there. But in a midnight rendezvous, she says, why, yes, I can resurrect Hot Dog. Takes him to the pet cemetery kind of deal there. And, of course, they're not the same when they come back. So Hot Dog bites his ass, and Jughead just trundles around town all zombified.
No, it was a pretty fucked up. Like Frank Villa's art is amazing.
It fits a zombie book so perfectly.
And they did straddle the line of it being like cutesy Archie in the way it was all teens and it was very light, and then somebody gets eaten. So it was really well done. And most horrific was when Sabrina's aunts decided to punish her for causing a zombie uprising, and you're like, fuck. Like, I've never taken you seriously ever. Like, didn't Caroline Ray play one of you on television, for fuck's sake? Like, you're not at all threatening, but legit. I wholeheartedly recommend people picking this up.
Absolutely. This is a book you should get.
And it also made for the stupidest text message I've ever gotten.
What did I say about it?
You're like, do you want, which zombie Jughead cover do you want?
Yeah, that's right.
I'm like, what the fuck? That's not even a first world problem. Like, that is the single dumbest ass sentence I've ever seen in my entire life. And I was out in public when I got that. And I didn't even... I was with my wife.
I love the idea that you had to stare at your phone trying to make a decision about this while
I believe my decision was, fuck off. Commodore wife was like, what? And I had to explain that you were asking which zombie Jughead cover. Not...
She just shook her head and picked up something else to buy.
No sex for the Reverend for a while because of that. So thank you so much. God damn it.
Hey, you can back out any time, motherfucker.
But no, it was an amazingly good book. I have to give it full credit.
I was curious about your take for Shadow Now, #1, though.
Shadow Now is written by David Liss, who's gotten a lot of good press as a comic writer.
I guess. I don't remember.
We've seen his name come up a lot. We'll put it that way. Like, he's becoming he's doing more and more books. But we don't read them. So.
No, all right. You know.
But it has that painted style that is very hard to pull off.
Yeah.
And they do it fairly well. It's not amazing, but it's a good looking book for the most part.
Yeah.
And it is ridiculously awesome because of one factor, which is that the key shadow villain is Showa Khan.
Yeah.
That's a guy John Lone played in the Alec Baldwin movie.
Oh, boy.
He actually had 2 appearances in the original Maxwell Grant stories.
Which would have been mildly unusual, I think, for pulps. It was either the enemy every single book or never.
Right. No, he was the first one to ever come back. Later on, as time ran by, but he was the first one to ever do such a thing. And then on top of that, he also appeared in the Archie comics. He's appeared in almost every factor. He's like the Jigsaw, if you will. It's like, it doesn't entirely make sense, but he keeps coming. So you have to like that factor. So that was huge. And you've got this... David Liss has obviously read a lot of the other Shadow comics. Like, Mavis Lockhart was the name of one of the characters that Chaykin introduced when he revamped, who was then in...
Oh, so Chaykin's officially got a canon character added,
At least from comic to comicdom,
Yeah.
But...
Well, that's cool.
However you look at it, so that was kind of cool. And there's some nice concepts. You have shadow agents turning on other shadow agents because the master, and Showa Khan was the golden master.
I see.
You subtle Asian racist, you. Yeah, where's the yellow claw these days? No!
Terrible. It's just terrible.
So you have that going for you. But I like the style of it. I don't know... The Dynamite Shadow books, none of them have just blown me away to the point I'm like, oh, fuck, we have to get this.
Yeah, it's difficult to attach to a Dynamite Shadow book these days.
But it was solidly done and fun.
Yeah, I thought it was much better than a couple of the others.
Like, I like the Matt Wagner one, Shadow Year 1, probably the most.
Yeah.
But we bought that so haphazardly.
Well, it got solicited so haphazardly. If it wasn't in the fucking list, I couldn't get it, could I? Deathrace. Go fuck yourself. So, no, it was readable. It was good. I didn't mind it. Yeah, they're throwing Molotov cocktails. Just the spectators are trying to fuck with the drivers. They must have bets. Crazy shit. No, look at this fucking thing, man. Get out of here with this. Why'd you put this movie on? Rocketeer Spirit 2. This amused me until it tired me out. Because the chief just sits there fawning all over the actress for like 16 fucking pages, acting like if I'm just nice enough to her, she'll touch my wee-wee.
Yeah, you know, there's a lack of subtlety. Wade has a really good touch on these characters. I have to say,
Yes.
It's a lot of fun. I definitely enjoyed the book for the most part. The art is much more in the Spirit vein than it is...
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen examples of Rocketeer. It's definitely more spiritish.
But they have a good feel for the Rocketeer character, and the two mix well.
Yeah, they really do.
So
I appreciate this.
I think Wade wrote a heck of a good book. I don't think I bothered with other than the first two, or it hasn't come out. I don't remember.
I don't remember either. I don't remember seeing it in the list.
But
It doesn't mean it wasn't there.
If we noticed 3, I would probably pick it up just to finish it out.
Yep.
But if we missed it, I'm not going to try and hunt it down overly difficult.
So they go talking to the coroner, and he tells them something's impossible here. That can't be. They get attacked by biplanes. They repel the biplanes. That was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it.
I did enjoy the rocket biplane fight.
Yes.
Where the Spirit bitches and gets fucking dragged along and thrown at a plane. Like, that shit's going to amuse me.
Go get it if you see it. It's fun. And here's where I leave you alone.
What do you got?
Here's where I walk off and say, take it, Reverend.
Brother Lono 5, 4?
Is number 5.
5. So, at this point, storylines are starting to get together. You've got about 38 drug dealers and Mexican crime lords all floating in different pools and banging their lactating wives.
Crazy.
Yeah, thank you for that moment. What we're really... like, you do a lot here, and there's a lot of stuff, and they're all going to get shot in the face eventually, so... But what it really comes down to is that Lono, right now, is dealing with the fact that he doesn't think like himself anymore.
Right.
He feels guilt and uncomfortableness, and it's not, I'm just going to fuck you up.
This is not how Lono used to run his life.
So he's really, at odds. And the priest, who's a really strange and vaguely creepy character.
He is, don't you think?
And the uber hot nun, which is just a terrible sentence. Like, don't even like saying that out loud. But I mean, that's the presentation they're giving you. Wacky hot nun coming up.
Who is under suspicion, just so we know.
Yes, everybody's suspicious in this. You've got my favorite of the new characters from this book is probably the psychotic yet vaguely honorable ex-orphan, drug dealer, murderer, psychopath. And just, like, how many addendums to one fucking person do you need? Tattoo-wearing, psycho, wheeling, dealing.
They've all got bald heads and head tattoos, and it's like, wow, you guys spend a lot of money on looking like doofuses.
And there's a lot of recruiting children, which even in short comic, like, I know that's a particular area of your uncomfortableness.
Yeah.
But it was like, it just 100 Bullets has never been afraid to bring the creep factor.
True. It's true.
And you bring in Mexican crime lords, and you really just fucking file that one up by another 7.
It ends with some jackhole driving up, talking about, bring me some little girls for our party. And that's where I'm just like, okay, glad this book's fucking over. Let's move on to the next motherfucker. I don't know if I can deal with that shit. Azzarello does some crazy things. I don't know how this is going to fucking turn out, man.
There's a lot of darkness in this book. It's a great book. It's worth reading.
Fantastically executed.
It may, however, be a graphic for a lot of people because it is incredibly convoluted and hard,
Yes, it's far, far easier to pay attention to if it was all in one sitting. Oops. Danny Trejo just got caught getting blown.
By a girl 3 times younger than him.
Well, you know, at our age, that's terrible. At his age, it ain't so bad. At Danny Trejo's age, he's like, I'll take...
That would make you mid-20s, you know,
I'm
lady.
going to take a quarter of it. Oh, yeah. Like, she's not concerned with those giant-ass roaches crawling on the bed between her legs. Get the fuck out. You liar! You are a liar! Star Wars 10. Star Wars 10. Wedge and Luke are preparing to engage in a daring escape from the Devastator, right?
Yep.
Yep. And Prithee barely gets back.
Wait, is Devastator, or is the Devastator what Leia was on with the...
No.
Okay.
No, he's Wedge and Luke are on the Devastator. Prithee has had to leave because her life support is shot. She just barely limps back to the fucking fleet. Han and Chewie finally escape because everybody is running from fucking something in this book at all times.
Yeah, no, there's a lot. You know what was particularly cool in this book is you had a really cool moment and a really lame moment. The really cool moment is when Wedge Antilles names Red Squadron Rogue Squadron.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
Cool.
I'm like, oh, that makes sense. It's awesome, cool. The lame moment is where you find out Wedge Antilles has a dark past. And you're like, no, I don't fucking care.
Yeah,
dude, just show up and not die. Like, we've already talked about this. You have one fucking goal. I'm Wedge Antilles and I don't fucking die. Not, oh, I used to have a girlfriend who was a pilot and she died tragically and someday I'll tell you about it, Luke. No! Fuck off, no. No, really? Was she an opera singer and she died right before a big... Like, come on. Like, how much pathos are you going to fucking pile on here? Like, no, absolutely ridiculous. You made me. You made me too.
Oh, how much childish can you get? I made you. You gotta say, you made me.
But you know what's interesting about Star Wars, and this book actually does a really good job of reminding me of this, because you haven't really seen it since the movie. It's the Empire is the worst fucking government all time. All time, bar none. I mean, let's look at Wedge and Luke for a moment. Here's a rich, overly liberal dilettante with political connections, an ace fighter pilot, and just a powerhouse of potential from a rebel standpoint. And here, on the other side,
right,
is a bad hair having farm boy with religious aspirations who thinks Womprats are the biggest fucking problem in the tri-state area. And yet, you've got the Emperor's right-hand man
failing to find these motherfuckers.
And not even on top of that, he's
running around on his own damn ship.
And he's literally going, no, fuck the huge fucking political threat. Find me the farm boy. No, you need to fuck that dude up. If they get wheat on this planet, shit's gonna go down.
Alright, that was silly.
But am I wrong? Like, think about it. Not, obviously, oh, nobody's a secret Jedi Knight. Fine, I get that. But no one knows this.
No, they really doesn't. He hasn't told a damn soul about anything about this kid.
And that's actually the biggest frustration of the second 3 movies, is that somehow Jedis were the most well-known and understood thing in the world, and by the time Luke shows up in the middle of the world's fucking suckiest planet ever... No, and people like, Jed what? Jed Clampett?
It was only 20 years, for fuck's sake.
Come on. I mean, you know what? If Christianity died tomorrow... I'm going to remember that shit in 20 years. Like, it's not going to be like, oh, yeah, there were a lot of books. People wore robes. There was a lot of singing. A lot of rappers mentioned him. A lot. I know that. Like, it's not going to just be like, what? Jediah? I'm a Jediah? No, fuck off!
It's there. Yeah, there is a good point.
But all I'm saying is, from the Emperor's standpoint, and like, as an empire, when your number 2 guy, if fucking... our vice president just started rushing out. Like, no, find me the farm boy. He'd be like, no, worst at, like, fucking Quail was better than you. Shut the fuck up.
Wow, no one has ever uttered
that. I know!
No one has ever said anything remotely close to Quail was better than you.
But let's face it, like, all I'm saying is every time you look at the Empire in the first 3 movies,
Yep.
Muppets! And I don't mean like fucking Ewok and Yoda Muppets. I mean like Muppets. And yet, in the new movies, there's all this political backfighting and fucking let's make a senator out of a Gungan so we can take advantage, which is just the stupidest plan ever. But at least it's
fucking
a plan.
worked, though.
Yeah, there's a plan involved, and it involves senators. I mean, they put the word senator in front of it, and they're like, hey, we're going to have a senator planned. Everybody look out. But now we're back to old school Empire, like, no, fucking farm boys, and no, just do what I say or I'll choke your ass. Baha! Bwahaha!
Okay, Mr. JLE. Bwahaha era.
There you go.
Wow. So that's fun.
Such a good book.
On the other hand, the Star Wars
Took a huge nosedive in 2 for me.
It really did. And let me tell you, I don't know what the fuck George was thinking when he named The Force of Others. I've been racking my brain
You know what?
for three years since I got the first giant making of Star Wars book, and it had the script in there. It says The Force of Others. I'm like, what the fuck is he talking about? You don't get your own fucking force?
You have to bear in mind, in the mid-'70s, you had pyramid power. There were a lot of weirder religions. And suddenly, I just made the point that, and Lucas is like, yeah, pyramid power. Nobody remembers that shit. So fuck off with your Jedi comments, sir.
I just wanted to preface the whole thing with The Force of Others is stupid. Yeah. The Death Star finally arrives at Aquila, right? Aquila?
All right, come on.
Aquila.
Come on.
In preparation
I'm not the one who remembers these things.
In preparation for the attack, this Luke needs the war codes to unleash the abilities of Aquila's planetary computers. Sounds a little bureaucratic to me.
It's a little more straight-faced sci-fi, though. It is a little more straight-faced sci-fi.
Which isn't a horrible thing. Now, Starkiller gets sent to pick up Leia.
And I don't know how you can complain about The Force of Others when you say Starkiller with a straight face.
No, that's dumb, too. No, I'm not debating that. There's no Starkiller, Skywalker. Skywalker at least has a kind of airy, angel-like connotation to it.
I think you're an idiot.
But, hey.
I'm just saying. Because, honestly, the only reason you can say that Skywalker is a stupid name is that it's been part and parcel of you for 25 years. If you take that away, 35 years for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
But if you take that, that history of it, like the first time, as a 40-year-old man, you open the book and you're like, Luke Skywalker. Oh, fuck off. Really?
Probably not.
Angel Ass Grabber already taken?
Angel Ass Grabber. Well, I mean, you got to take names with a grain of salt unless they're just totally fucking ludicrous, like, I don't know, Stacker Pentecost. Fucking lame-ass name.
But let's be honest.
And I like that flick, but that was a stupid fucking name.
Luke Skywalker is basically an aerial version of Mud Stomper. All right?
Well, I don't know about Mud Stomper.
Really? What's all that there? Skywalker, Mud Stomper. One's an element, one's a way of walking.
Is he really intended to be compared to a hillbilly?
I'm just saying, if Luke fucking Mud Stomper came out of Dagobah...
Oh, no, that would be fucking hilariously stupid.
Yeah, that's my point. It's like, the only reason that you accept Skywalker...
No, there are levels, so, I mean, Starkiller is like on Sub-Basement 4. Skywalker is like in, the lobby.
Skywalker
neither of them are in the fucking penthouse.
Mud Stomper.
As a matter of fact, Stacker Pentecost is down at the fucking junkyard.
Hero protagonist.
That's so fucking... Shark Fury. Come on. This is terrible names. They're going to kill the blonde in about 4 seconds.
No.
She's going to survive that?
Probably. This movie makes no more sense. But like everything in this book is about dialogue. Like this proves that George did write all that other crap early because it feels like the other movies.
So anyway, Starkiller is sent to pick up Leia, whom he has to punch out to get her to go with him.
Yeah,
which is okay. Who had the bright idea of punching out a fucking princess who can shoot?
Well, this suddenly explains why fucking Luke is why George is divorced, because as a child, if you thought that was your way to start a fucking relationship, like, let me start by clocking her.
Yeah. The fight finally starts, and the defending Acolyte troops are wiped the fuck out. Which is kind of disappointing, because that's just like, wow, your recruitment is quite stringent, huh? So, the whole point that I'm trying to make talking about these two issues is it's really fucking confusing who wants to do what to whom.
Dude, it's very convoluted. It is a multi-read book.
Yeah, dude, I've read this 3 times.
It is the least climactic fight scene ever. Like, oh my god, big fight! Nothing. No. No, it's a bunch of people chatting in a war. It was like watching Doctor Strangelove and like, dude, that kicked ass! Phenomenal movie. Don't start sending hate mail. I love Doctor Strangelove. But what I'm saying is, like, if you're watching Buck Turgid in the fucking war room going, oh my god, best war movie ever, you need to fucking step back and think about things for a second.
Yes. Wow.
I found a way to fucking put Buck Turgid into our podcast. I can die a happy alcoholic.
Damn. So on the other end of the simplicity spectrum is letter 44, where
the 44th president of the United States of America
is given a letter on his desk after he's inaugurated, detailing the existence of an alien presence and NASA's mission to determine why they're there. At some point, a mission was sent out to go find out about these things. And, of course, you've got conflicting personalities and pregnant people in a metal capsule halfway between here and fucking Uranus.
Dude, I really did not have a ton of respect for this book at all. But I'm really supposed to believe that the crack 5-scientist, 4-soldier team started bagging to the point where they had kids on their mission to stop the satellite that's going to destroy the entire... And was it the scientist or the soldier's child? Because there's some stupid shit going on.
A little bit. Yeah, it's not entirely clear who belongs to whom here.
Like, there's good sci-fi and there's bad sci-fi. And this is fucking the sci-fi. It's like, here's our concept, and now comes the soap opera. It's like, oh, you like aliens? Let me show you why that's not really true.
That's terrible, man. No, I'm not getting any more of these. I'm so not getting any more of these. Somebody may like it, and I won't take that away from them much. But it's not for me. And I really want a decent sci-fi fucking book out there.
Plus,
man.
the art was killing me.
It was kind of rough. It was kind of simplistic and cartoony, and I was kind of like, I don't really... No, cartoony is the wrong word.
No.
It was
like, what if Chris Sprouse suddenly tried to take on Paul Pope?
Yeah. That's really good. And thereby bad. So, they finally brought back... Shut up, Floyd. Finally brought back a Sandman book in Overture #1. And let me tell you, that shit is every bit as talky and plotty as it's ever fucking been. Yeah,
that was all... Like, I was looking forward to it, and then halfway through, I'm like, what the fuck?
They're just sitting here yapping. Dream wants to unmake the Corinthian for some bizarre reason that isn't entirely clear.
Well, this is an older Dream, right? Like, that's the first Corinthian.
Yeah. And why it has to happen in this book, I don't know. Where Daniel figures in on this, I don't know.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of Sandman that show up. I assume one of them will be Daniel.
Yeah, and this is like the Council of Reeds all over again.
Oh, God, dude.
And I'm like, Neil, I love you to death. Show me some more novels. But I think maybe Sandman went away for a reason.
I'm sure, like, when this is done, you'll read it and be intrigued. But
Not right now.
Yeah, it was not what I was hoping for. I'm not gonna lie. But then again, like, it is exactly what I was hoping for in a sense. I'm just maybe I'm not the same person. Like,
because there really isn't a critical difference in all these years now. This could just as easily have been in between The Wake and whatever, or between Season of Mists and
maybe, the other thing is a lot of Sandman stories start and you're like, I don't know, and then it slowly builds and you're like, holy fuck.
Yeah, a bunch of them. Yeah, that is true. But after all this time, I expected a little punch.
Well, I mean, they had a bunch of Sandman. That was the punch. It's just a question. And, of course, you had the obligatory Destiny and Death appearance, Merv Pumpkinhead, like all the, like, if I'm going to do this, let me drop every popular character in the first fucking 10 minutes.
Even Neil Gaiman understands fan service.
Very different things in this circumstance.
Well, there's anime fan service, and then there's everybody else's fucking fan service.
Fair enough. All right.
I mean, people expect some specific things from anime, so when they give it to them, it becomes very obvious and unsubtle. Yeah. People expect very specific things out of Neil Gaiman. So when he gives it to him, that's his version of fan service.
All right, I see where you're going.
Yeah. So, Baltimore, The Infernal Train, 2 of 3. This moved up quite a bit.
Dude, lots of shit happens.
The first one was kind of like, well, okay, I'll continue, I guess. But this one just ramps it up with Baltimore fighting the mad priest Duvich until vampires show up. Local police show up. And it's a giant fight. The train is almost powered up. The woman explains the resurrection of the Red King. Duvich comes back around, but he can't complete the mission because he's tainted. Ha ha ha! You self-righteous fuck.
There's a lot of awesome moments in this.
Really
Baltimore is back in a big way. The highlight was absolutely when Duvich blesses something and it doesn't kill vampires. He's the world's worst priest. So that's fucking great. The fight scene is really well done. When the guards show up and then the vampires show up and everything falls to shit.
The Red God was an intriguing aspect.
That was a little hokey for me.
Tiny bit.
It's like Cabin in the Woods. Like, oh, here's a giant monster out of the fucking,
No, I thought
for a second I thought
they
were going to go Cthulhu with it, and I'm like, what? You've done that everywhere else, Mike.
Well,
so now he's a big fucking giant.
Ancient elder gods and stuff are nothing new, but vampires having them is very different.
No, and they still haven't explained the key factor about this. Why do vampires keep jumping into the engine of this fucking train? Like, that's the shit I want to hear about.
Yeah, because that's like, really? They're volunteering? They can't be volunteering for this shit. Come on. They can't all want this fucking Red God back, for fuck's sake. Some of them got to be atheists.
No, but Baltimore, awesome. Like some of the one-shots really didn't delve well into the areas I wanted them to. This has been a big
some
improvement.
of them were bland at best,
They're gremlins by the tank.
Okay. Oh, the bells tell us about a curse. What? Who cares? But... that novelty stuff that you gave me, that was really good. I enjoyed the shit out of those. They weren't illustrated books. They had a couple of plates in them. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, the Baltimore one?
Yeah.
Yeah, the one, crap. I'm not going to remember the name.
Well, it doesn't matter. Let's talk about the horrible abortion that was shoot first. Or we could pause so you can talk to your wife.
Station.
Anyway, now that we've gotten assorted family members sorted out over the phone, shoot first.
Okay, fine. I apologize. I have one thing to say about this fucking book, and then it can go away. All right? Anytime your entire concept hinges on guns that only fire based on your complete lack of faith in any form of organized religion, you're terrible.
Yeah, that doesn't make any kind of fucking sense in any way whatsoever.
No, it was god-awful.
I mean, are supernatural beings really in that much need of your weapons, where you have to. I don't get why that anywhere remotely necessary is. I don't even want to talk about it. Secular humanist occult obliteration task force.
No, it was.
There's no need for that shit.
It was such a rough book.
I couldn't deal with it, man. I was just like, okay, you can shut up now. Like every other page, shut up. The next page, shut the fuck up. Sorry, I didn't like this book.
No, it was a rough, and I'm so glad I get to take it home with me. Yay!
Oh shit, that was one of yours?
Oh no, all yours! All yours!
Too late now.
Yep, no, totally yours.
Nope. Wrong answer. Thank you for playing. You don't get the encyclopedias. Or
I am so stupid.
You are mean. Let's go to a better book, shall we?
What do you got?
Buck Rogers #2.
Dude, there's some
Chickeny goodness.
There's some really good concepts going on in this. He's dealing a lot with race, but in a very different way, where like the heroic characters are huge fucking racists, but the lead character's like, no, you're all kind of awful.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like it. I mean, it still kind of smacks of white man saving the day, but it's a better way of doing it because he's elevating them rather than taking the other races and downgrading them.
He's fighting that concept though at the same time. It's like no, like
exactly.
But
so
have you actually read Buck Rogers? I know you've asked for it for Christmas.
Yeah,
you read it.
I've read it like 4 times.
Is it racist? I mean, bearing in mind the period, like is this following a theme? I guess
they didn't say things like chinks.
Well, thank fucking God. But the overall concept.
It wasn't racist because it was very clear that they didn't like the Han because the Han had subjugated them. It wasn't that they disliked the Han because they were, slant-eyed fucks from over there, Which I apologize for saying.
Yeah, but thank you for covering your ass there.
No, the book was really close, but he's taking his own take.
Which is, of course, awesome.
So he has...
No, go ahead. You finish.
He has Buck recruit a couple of Chinese Americans to infiltrate the Han, all the while arguing about what Americans are, why they fight, how they're being duped into fighting each other, which is all accurate.
Nothing is as cool as the moment where he tries to recruit the first Asian that he finds, who freaks out, runs away, so he has to shoot her. And you're like,
that was
like that. I don't know if that's Buck Rogers, but that's like pure unadulterated chicken right there.
It totally
like,
was.
I'm going to start from a good point. Oh, this is going horribly awry. Bang! Hey, you! Hey, Rube!
Rube.
Holy fuck.
But it's definitely a good book, and the older, more original take on it is nice. Because Dynamite really tried hard a couple of years ago, and I was kind of with them with it.
Yeah, you were enough interested in it to actually start watching the show again.
Yeah. Which had nothing to do with either.
Yes, that's some sort of amalgamated abortion middle ground. Like, we'll take this limb and just start from scratch. We can clone it.
It's amazing how much skin they got away with in the late 80s, in 79, 80 on TV, man.
Oh, dude, I forgot to mention my favorite part of the Star Wars.
Yeah?
The only thing I really enjoyed in that entire book was when the R2-D2 robot went, what the? And I was like, wait a minute. Instead of beady, 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 he swears like this is the best robot ever. Finally, he's as cool as everyone thinks he is. Just wanted to share that because...
So your whole concept of cool is swearing?
For robots? Fuck yeah.
Oh, okay, for robots, yes. All right, I'm with you on robots.
Robots and babies.
Swearing babies?
Dude. If you were in the middle of a pick the coolest baby contest, and one of them's like, what the? Like, all right, it's you. You over there can take the shades off.
How the hell do you do that? What the? I can't get that high. What are you doing to yourself? Oh, that's right. You got married.
Yeah. Commodore wife is coming for you, and you should be afraid.
You gonna tell her?
Oh, fuck no.
Because she don't listen to this show.
Or she don't listen to me either. And she still knows things.
You want to talk about Kelly Sue's new joint? Oh, I saw that wince. Ouch.
Well, I mean, in a sense, this book screams me. You've got a Western, you've got a blind gunfighter riding around with his own troop of gunfighters, sort of like farmhand gun. It was very confusing.
A little bit. It took me like 3 reads to really get it straight. And what it boils down to, concept-wise, is Ginny, Deathface Ginny, or whatever the fuck she's named.
Right. Is that the one with the crow for a hat?
No, that's the skull-face chick.
Okay.
Is the daughter of Death, born from a tryst that Death had with a trophy wife of all concepts. How she's associated with this crow girl and the blind bard is not yet known to me.
Well, the crow girl stole something from the pretty guy, who I guess was Ginny's trophy husband, until she shot him.
Aha! Yes, very good. Okay. Now it makes a shitload more sense.
No, it might be easier to follow. It doesn't make a shitload more sense.
All right, yes, it's easier to follow now.
Poorly spoken, sir.
All right, well, crucial to me is being able to follow what the fuck is going on. It's a comic book. It's not going to make sense on some levels.
All I can say...
I'm largely fine with that.
Is... Like, where are you going? Like, there were a couple of cool... The blind gunfighter was cool.
Yeah.
The part where she shot the guy in the leg, and then she's like, oh, well, I can shoot you a second time, but you're in a whore's bed. Like, this is not going to go well for you. Tell me what I want to know.
Infection should be there in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Contagion. Matt Damon is now your husband. You're fucked.
Wow. I don't even know what that means. But
Yeah, the movie Contagion? His wife has a disease.
Oh, I didn't see it. Gotcha. Hey, don't nod at me.
I haven't seen it. I saw a damn trailer. I pieced the rest together.
Oh, did you? You're fucking super smart there, ain't you, pal?
Well,
fucking asshole.
I made bad choices, but yeah, otherwise. It just didn't do anything for me, and it was too arty for a Western, and it's still a Western. Like, who is the audience for this book?
Kelly Sue DeConnick fans.
She's
not to put too fine a point on it.
She is a talented writer.
Unless she's doing Ghost. You hated Ghost.
I don't like... she has talent. Like,
you hated Ghost.
I hate almost everything she's done, but people really like her, so I want to give her credit. I didn't like Captain Marvel particularly either. Like, it just started getting interesting when we dropped it, so I'm like, fuck this book. God damn you! It's like when you walk out of a movie and you're like, shit, that was cool.
You know what they call her nowadays?
I don't know.
Princess Sparkle Fists.
And
we're talking about Carol, not Kelly Sue.
Oh, okay.
She's supposed to get a new book, too.
Really?
Which I was like, I wish you guys would make up your fucking minds. I might have been down to revisiting the last one if they hadn't decided, you know what, we're already going to make a new one. Fuck it. Because, doubling up, ain't nobody got time for that shit. So, yeah. What was a good choice, however, and is consistently a good choice, and I'm thinking probably will be forever if I have any kind of optimum left in my fucking soul, is Saga. Looking at number 15. The journalists, the two goofballs, the muckrakers that are just like, they speak in thought bubbles, which kind of weirds me out, and I don't... Are they telepathic?
Possibly. I mean, maybe. They appear to be lovers.
Well, which is hardly all that relevant.
No, but maybe, we're talking about, like, one of the cool things about...
But they talk to everybody in the thought bubbles.
Oh, good point. Yeah, I was thinking, like, maybe it was a... Because one of the cool things about Saga, as I was trying to say, as you just proved me wrong, is they don't dole out, like, oh, and this is how this works.
Yeah.
Like, there's not that Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy asterisk Babelfish moment.
Right.
They just do, like, oh yeah, they just do cool, neat, new shit because they're fucking cooler and better and spacier than you. They have TVs for heads. They fucking, they, like robots and spider bimbo fucking bounty hunters. Cats that talk and tell lies or read lies. I don't fucking know. Cooler than you. Deal with it. Future. Out.
Wow. Wow-wee. So the journalists. The journalists they're interviewing Countess Television, because I can never remember her name, who relates Alana's backstory as a gunner/bombardier, and a sniper tags one of them, which is not exactly an optimal interview ending.
No, but pretty unexpected. You gotta give him credit.
Very
like,
unexpected. When I flipped that page and saw that thing go through, I'm like, hey!
What?
Not that I was sorry for the guy, because I don't like him.
But hey, you know what? I don't have any problem with the journal. Like, one of the cool things about this is every character has a level of depth.
Right.
Like, dislike, like even the weird TV head guy, you're like, well, you know, he's dealing with trouble from home, he wants to get back to his wife, like,
he's got a baby on the way.
There's a lot of depth in every single character.
Sure.
They bring somebody in, they're like, oh, and it's like, apparently, they spent a fuck ton of time on backstory.
Sure. That's the way you make a good character.
Like, you know, they get together today, like, oh, that guy walking in the background? He has AIDS. And this one murdered his wife and buried her in the backyard. Like, it's like, dude, he's a background character. Like,
That's like looking at the people in the cantina in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Everybody's got a name, and, you know, he is a smuggler of Glitterstim.
Yeah, but all their backstories came on the back of a card so they can sell more of them.
Yeah.
Like, Vampire John enjoys drinking blood and using the John. Really?
Yeah, terrible.
Really?
You shouldn't try that stuff anymore.
That's why I don't make action figures. What do you want from me? And there's your title.
So, the main cast are sitting there playing board games, for fuck's sake.
Dude, that is the most epically frustrating and weird board. Can you imagine a board game where you had to drink heavily, fucking answer trivia, and then arm wrestle?
I would not like that. It's like Calvin Ball, for fuck's sake.
It's like, I hate this. Oh, I hate this more. Get off me!
Now we have to wrestle. You go away.
I just want to sit here and make snarky comments. That's why I drink. Bitches.
And the poor Will is still stuck trying to fix his ship, but he's still hallucinating because of the environment of the planet they're in. And it turns out later on we learn more from Alana herself that she's a bit of a slacker. She just wants to fucking hang out at the author's house forever and just hope that he feels like paying for everything they need.
Well, I mean, everything else has been kind of awful. You know, suddenly they're looking at when something decent comes along, it's hard not to grab onto it and be like, oh, I'm just moving in here. I have family like that.
Yeah, but she... so do I. No, but she just came off like, why should we work, man? Like, because that's what you fucking do. If you're not creating, you're working. So you better figure out which one you want to goddamn well do. Because that's the way it is. And this is all cut between storyline and thread, this thread, that thread. There's 3 threads going on right now. And they've swapped back to the Will's thread, where Orphan Alice, or whatever the fuck her name is, has finally been taken over by the spores of the planet and stabs the shit out of the Will.
Dude, worst bounty hunter ever.
Like, he's terrible.
Oh my god! Like, Boba Fett is sitting on his ass laughing at you.
He is.
Dude, you just got dropped by an 8-year-old child whose idea of the world is cats. Like, her best friend is a fucking talking cat that you brought, and she still dropped you like a fucking hammer. Like, it wasn't even close.
It's amazing, isn't it?
You got your ass whipped.
I mean, Zuckus was better than this fucking guy. And he's named fucking Zuckus, which I'm sure he ate a lot of shit as a kid for. Hey, Zuckus! Come here and fill in the blank.
Zuckus!
Terrible.
Yep, terrible.
So, Lazarus 4. I didn't give you all of the rest of them.
No, I've seen 1 and 4.
1 and 4. Well, really, except for a little infighting and a little, we're going to set up poor Forever and get her killed so that we can have our way with the family. That's what you missed.
Yeah. Lazarus 4 offers a couple of interesting aspects. I did not read 2 or 3, so I was like, why am I even looking at this thing? The art is pretty solid. It is a lot of cliches, but they're put together fairly interestingly.
Yes.
I mean, it's all pure cliche. Like, I'm the fucking badass. Oh, you're in the family, but you're not really in the family.
Right.
Oh, I'm going to fake that someone beat me up to get you to do this. Oh, we're fighting, but I have a lot of respect for you, so you go away. And there's not one concept, and you're like, no! No, nothing. Liberal use of the word "the." Nothing new whatsoever.
Yeah. Poor Forever falls for the frame that's been set up around her, though. And then she gets a cryptic message. Which, of course, is going to be, "You're being betrayed!" I'm sure there's not going to be a surprise there, but I like the execution of it.
You know what bugs me, though?
I was really worried that he was going to have some ham-handed fucking societal commentary going on there. And it's really not bad at all. Huh?
That'll be coming.
Great.
Once she realizes she's betrayed and sees how the world works for everybody else. Come on, man. You got to build to these things.
I understand. Fine. On the other hand, Velvet #1,
dude,
with our good buddy Brubaker,
so fucking
spies.
You know what
hot
pisses
spies
me off?
and spies.
What pisses me off is I talked you into buying this instead of getting it myself.
You were wrong, sir.
And it's the pinnacle Rev book. Basically, this is what if Miss Moneypenny
had
fucked better, spied better, and shot better than James Bond and all the other 00s. And if you've ever wondered how, or even thought for 4 seconds of how cool that might be, then you need this fucking book.
Yes, absolutely.
I don't even want to go into the details. That's all you need to know.
It really is. That's a good way to put it. I hadn't quite seen it that way, but that's pretty much perfect. Moneypenny. What did you say?
Fucks better, fights better, and shoots better. I'm Uber spy. I'm also the secretary. It's like, I just wanted a break. I needed to sit more.
I can't wait to read more Velvet.
No, so fucking good. And
Brubaker, you set him off the
Brubaker
leash.
and Epting.
Yes.
We miss you, and this is why.
Yes. Ooh, doggies. What we got on that screen now, boy?
What?
Yes. So, Uber 6. The Japanese have begun their Uber program.
Well, no, that's the thing. They haven't begun their Uber. They've had it way longer. They just start using it.
Yes. Well, okay. They've deployed their Uber program. So, we get a backstory about the Okinawa theater's importance. And a couple of GIs find some suicidal refugees after a fight. And the Japanese Ubers are efficient and evade detection. Aside from some random details, like the two GIs in the foxhole, one's an asshole, one's kind of optimistic for the moment.
It's kind of telling that in the end, the afterward, he literally is saying, "Oh, this is just like zero. I'm just broad strokes, and then it will build from there."
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, he's totally shifted theaters, so he's really starting from scratch, except that we know the concepts that he's going to be dealing with. Hello. This movie has only a couple of things going for it.
There's 2 of them.
Yes. The other 2 were just seen in an upskirt. You got anything you want to add to Uber?
Uber is a good book. I will say, however, that just like the first time, the start to the idea is underwhelming. Like this, if you were to pick this up just like the first 0,
right?
You're like, all right, I like the concept, but where's the cool?
Yeah, I can see that.
But everything becomes it just gets cooler and cooler. And I have to say, the nice thing is having read the first 6 issues,
yeah,
you're not even worried. You're just like, okay, get to it.
Yep.
But it is cool that there's a whole secret Uber program that's been happening the whole time.
Right. I enjoyed it. Astro City 5.
This pissed me off a little bit.
Really?
I love Astro City, but this did piss me off a little bit.
What, the Blasphemy boys weren't cool enough for you?
I did love them, let's be honest. Like, occult fucking warriors in the sewers of New York turning on each other. Like, that's just fucking right up my alley. No, but every time a story started getting interesting, that stupid blue guy shows up. He's like, nope, you can't hear that yet.
Yeah, what was that about? That was, okay, that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
That's the part that drove me nuts. This purple twit just coming about, wait a minute, wasn't supposed to tell you that. He's like Hagrid, for fuck's sake. Yeah. Oh, shouldn't have mentioned that.
Yeah, and it was that dumb. And it happened twice. It's like, oh, here's a story you can hear. And you know these are all, like, everything Busiek has done has been so fucking spot on in Astro City. You know that these are going to come up and be interesting further on. But the guy's just pissing me off right now.
There was an incident with a snake character thing, and then Miss Progress fights Mr. Cakewalk, whoever the fuck he is.
Who's actually part hero, as they're actually freeing people from being sold into the ancient Egypt slavery, which is fucking hysterical in a horrible... like, that's the worst fucking evil villain ever. Egyptus, whoever he was, is like super fucking dickwad of all time. It's like, hey, you're fucking black in the mid-'70s. I'm going to make your life 30 times worse.
When the fuck did Busiek start taking acid, for God's sake?
Yeah, like, so the aspects of it are awesome.
Yeah.
But I can't lie. Like, it was really frustrating. I wanted a good, strong issue, and it's like, nope, here's this. Oh, nope. Hey, you like the Blasphemy voice? You don't get them. No.
It did. I was like, each page went by, and you're like, okay, I can see where this is going to be fun. No, I wasn't supposed. Shut up, man! Why are you showing me things if you're not allowed to show me things? Go fuck yourself. Get on with the book, for God's sake. Non-traditional story. Go fuck yourself.
No, it's an awesome book. I love Astro City. I can't wait for the next one. I was a little frustrated with this.
I'm not going to say this one was bad in any fashion. There were aspects of it that were like, what are you doing?
Yeah. I definitely wanted a little bit more from that one.
Yeah. So, yeah. Sex Criminals.
Oh, God.
Number 2. Still a freaky book. I'm sure it's only going to get crazier and crazier as the months go by.
Yeah, this time we had the origin of the dude.
You're right. And he was kind of a doofus, really.
I mean, I can't imagine dealing with the information factor, the learning curve on every time I orgasm, the world stops moving.
Yeah,
I mean, figuring out masturbating was hard enough, for fuck's sake, like, let alone, pun intended.
Oh!
Not the title.
Ouch! You think. Wow. Yeah, well, I think that he is just a dumb person. Not a bad character, a dumb person.
But I will say, like, the concept, the whole concept of it is not really, like, I don't think it's a great concept. The book is being done interestingly enough that I'm fine with reading it. But
it's pretty fucking silly and puerile, really.
But the concept of, how do I say this? When I get aroused again, it stops. Like, finding that out, that was pretty fucked.
I mean, is it just an implementation of orgone, or what the Look it up, kids. Be careful when you search.
Yeah, things you do not want in your history.
Orgone. It's fucking terrible, dude. No, we got the next one. Maybe see where 4 goes, but...
Well, you're stuck for a while now, aren't you?
If it just gets sillier, then I'm just going to be like, okay, you have your way, and I'll go my way, and that'll be that. Because it's just... I like a certain level of silly. I'm not entirely certain that this type of silly is my type of silly.
There's some depth in the writing, obviously.
Yeah.
Like, there's some creative ideas. It just, so far, like, it's just such a stupid concept to begin with. And not, like, just sort of, like, so, like, wait, what? maybe you can do something amazing with it, but my natural reaction is like, wait, what? And I'm really having a hard time getting away from the what part of it.
Me too. Let's start closing shit out.
All right, what do we got left?
We got 3, number 1, where the whole point seems to be that the Spartans were horrible people, but not horrible enough to not take some small amount of shit from a slave? What?
Yeah, this was an odd... Basically, this whole issue felt like my mother. It didn't feel like my mother.
Felt like my mother.
But a few years ago, my mother used to work at a bookstore, and she had to read a book a year. And one of the books, not book a year, she had to read a book a week and like give a review so that they could talk about it to people, new releases, stuff like that. And this was years ago. So she read a book called Rising Sun by Michael Crichton. It became a particularly poor film. Not as bad as Barracuda, which we're about to start watching, but... And they asked her, like, what did you think of it? And she's like, it felt like he bought a really bad Japanese car and wanted to punish them. And this, to me, is like, this book is like, oh, you like 300? Well, here's 3, because fuck you for liking Spartans.
It felt like there was some kind of bizarre crusader-like agenda that they wanted to get across. It's like, they're not heroes, they were complete fucking assholes.
But he says this, he's trying for a more well-rounded Spartan. It's not that they're complete assholes, it's just they're not as cool as you think they are.
Well, sure.
And I'm like, I really don't think they're that cool. Like, yeah, they were really tough warriors, but... Like, fine, they're great in comic book and 1960s film mash. And I saw Meet the Spartans. Like, I'm fine with fucking not seeing that again. I'm not all things Sparta are awesome. Although if we had action figures, that would be an awesome Mel Brooks ripoff.
What would be?
Spartans on ice.
I'm not putting Spartans on ice. Okay, I'll put Spartans on ice. But...
I need 8 Tarzan action figures, fake hair for beards, and fucking togas. Go!
You're writing it. I'll shoot it. I'll shoot it, but you're writing it.
I hate my life.
Yeah, well, you thought it up. So...
But, yeah, so this really felt as much as possible like a backlash. And you're right, there's a key factor, which is really the lippy slave had about 8 seconds before he got stabbed in the face. Not this entire story.
Yeah. I mean, he's only a heelot, for fuck's sake. He's got no opinion.
So, the Spartans hunted slaves, and that was wrong. Fine. You know what? They also kept stabbing people with spears, and that was pretty fucked up. So, really, none of it is great behavior. I am not dying to read the next one after this.
No, I didn't get it.
It was dark. It was not horrible by any stretch of the imagination, but I wasn't like, ooh, I need more.
Well, so, sometimes you let somebody off the leash, and they do amazing shit, and other times you set them on their own, and they don't come back before the streetlights come on. You know?
Okay. It's interesting how that became Saturday Night Fever
metaphor.
somehow. You know? You can tell by the way I stabbed my slave. I'm not writing Spartan Night Fever. You can fuck off.
You suggested it.
God damn it.
You've got a week off, for fuck's sake.
Oh, so I have to spend it listening to fucking Saturday Night Fever and fucking rewriting it?
Oh, it'll take you 45 seconds. You've got an English degree.
I hate you so much.
Don't make me do it.
Next.
I'm already rewriting Les Miserables, for fuck's sake.
You're already picturing it.
I got a fucking font to put Star Wars Les Miserables in. I got to find a font for that without paying for it. So that's fucking sucking. No. Satellite Sam 4. To which I said, huh?
The thing with Satellite Sam is that it's so slow.
It is. It's kind of plodding, really.
It's an interesting book. It is a murder mystery which no one is really trying to figure out. The son is only really interested in how hot his co-star and his dad's ex-fuck buddy is.
Yeah.
And, like, why was my dad a giant perv and how did I miss that? Everyone else is interested in getting laid and making television in that order.
Pretty much, yeah.
We find out one of the main characters that we haven't delved into is gay, which changes nothing because he's still interested in getting laid and making television.
Yeah.
the son is an awful actor, but they keep wanting. Everyone's like, "Oh yeah, you're awful," except for the guy who keeps wanting to offering him his own show for no good reason.
Yeah.
All right, that is one fake-looking barracuda right there.
Yeah.
It is just not, like I said, it's like, if Fraction had done this, it would have been so much further afield than it is with Fraction.
Wait,
Strike
what?
that. If Shaken had written it, it would be the Shaken book. This is Fraction trying to write a Shaken book, and the two, like, it's not the meeting of the minds you wanted.
Nah, it really isn't.
Having said that, like, I want to see where it goes. Like, I'm nothing against the book. It's a miniseries, right? It's not going on forever.
As far as I know, I thought it was 8.
All right. Like, the downside is we're both buying it, and it really is a book, like, as a... you're coming from the Fraction side, I'm coming from the Shaken side.
Right.
And both of us are like, why not just let him? If we had one copy of this, we'd be better off. The fact that we're both actually dropping... And at this point, it's like, fuck it, I'm not stopping now. So we're both buying it going, I want to know what happens, but he could have had it.
Yeah.
Yeah, not our finest moment.
A little forward momentum, maybe.
Yeah, like murder somebody else. Fucking somebody punch somebody. Somebody actually say something that doesn't involve the fucking Giants beating the Dodgers. Because I'm familiar with that. I knew that happened.
The who and the what? Aha! I know who the fuck the Giants and the Dodgers are, for fuck's sake. This was after they moved to L.A., right? It was before. So they moved. They were still in New York.
Yep.
Oh, okay. See, I knew they came from New York. I knew they went to L.A. Don't look at me like that.
Dumb bums.
And you know you're kind of mildly surprised at
I
that
am
much.
actually, not even mildly, I'm like literally shocked. I'd expect you to burst into spontaneous flame before that.
Believe me, I'm burning up. It fucking hurts, man.
And speaking of spontaneous flaming,
Aha!
God is dead!
I was about to say your brother-in-law's not here, but nobody knows.
Oh.
I needed something, but nobody knows him, so I didn't say it. And it doesn't fit anyway. So.
Not even a little.
God is Dead. This is number 2. Last issue, the non-Judeo Christian white boy gods all came back. Yahweh was conspicuously absent from this, which I find exclusionary and discriminatory.
For a second, Zeus, I was like, oh, fuck, they brought God. Which is just fucked up, just to say that, you know. It's like, oh, they brought God. I literally believe in nothing except the Yeti.
And I'm telling you, you're wrong on that one.
Yeah, but I needed something, and I'm like, you know what, I'm not going to just pick something because it's popular. It's the same reason I root for the Vikings in football. I picked the team, you know. But I was like, yeah, I'll take the Yeti. No, you know, he's underplayed, he's undervalued. Like, you know, he's an up-and-comer in the religious front. And I'm like, yeah, apparently
Well, better than the flying spaghetti monster, because those are just uppity motherfuckers.
Yeah, I'm all set with fucking worshipping Chef Boyardee's fucking shit.
So anyway, they came back, and now they have completed their takeover in between issues somehow. And that's all fine and dandy. They teamed up, and the Earth is theirs again. But now Odin, of course, is like, I would like the rest of the planet for me.
Dude, that was the best fucking thing ever. Like, you have Loki, Thor, and Odin being like, look, I've already ruled multiple worlds. Loki's like, I'm a giant dick weasel. And Thor's like, I punch. And then they just start fucking up with the gods, like, God War! So I have to give credit to that. It is a strange book. But
it's not nearly as strange as a lot of other stuff he's done. It's really straightforward compared to a whole bunch of his stuff.
You have the interesting fact that, like, they drop a nuke on the gods that goes nowhere.
Of course.
There's a lot of really key, subtle moments. The thing is, there's no real human element in it.
No, almost none.
You had a military guy, but he gets slaughtered when the other one suddenly becomes a worshiper and decides to sacrifice him. But that was awesome. I wish that there was more classic... I wish Hickman had this feel for more classic comicdom. His concepts are amazing. His thought process is so beyond the pale as to be ridiculously impressive. But I wish you had like a 5-issue story where they're fucking fighting the Red Skull, and then one of these concepts rolls out. Not just like, here, like, let me just shit concept all over you.
Shit concept on you. Ew.
Am I wrong?
No, you're right. I mean, at some point, he's got to get away from ideas and use the ideas to tell a fucking story.
And he does. He tells amazing stories. He just doesn't tell them in a way I particularly want to read. I would rather that he did a straightforward comic with some really cool moments,
Right.
than all cool moments and it not feel like a great comic.
Yeah, I'm with you.
But when
I feel you, my brother.
When I'm watching Thor and Loki and Odin fucking up an entire
shit.
pantheon, like I will read that shit. Like point for you. I just hope that it stays cool and doesn't get obtuse.
Yeah, I'm with you.
You know, as obtuse as using the word obtuse, really. I did it. I'll take credit for it. That's my fault.
A cute observation. Yeah. And enough with the geometry for tonight. I think we're done.
Bless you, fuckers!
Wow, that was the fastest one you've done in a year.
You kept complaining.
It worked.
And
Good night, kids. The Mean Geek is recorded live at the Reverend Mad Duck's apartment whenever the hell we can get to it. Find us on Facebook, Stitcher, Twitter under @TheMeanerGeek. Subscribe to us through RSS.
Or we can be located at our own site, www.themeangeek.com. And most importantly of all, you can find us as a proud member of the Comics Podcast Network.
Email us directly at themeanergeek@gmail.com.
Can I drink now?
You may.